Welcome to CEC lectures. Myself Dr. Priti Jagwani. I am an associate professor in the Department of Computer Science, Aryabhatta College, University of Delhi. So in the previous lecture we looked into some general concepts of artificial intelligence, and moreover specifically we talked about explainable AI and interpretable AI. Continuing with the same we can say same direction, we are going to look into some more general concepts or general terms of artificial intelligence which an artificial intelligent students must be aware of. So the first in this is about an argument. So the argument is named as Chinese room argument, and please remember that in the initial in the inception of this particular series we looked into the Turing test. So that was something, that kind of a test which if a machine passes, then we say that okay, the machine is intelligent, something of that sort. So similarly, this Chinese room argument is actually proposed by a philosopher, John Searle, in 1980. Actually, it's a thought experiment which is focused on proving that computers, no matter how sophisticated they are, cannot understand the language or possess the consciousness. So this is more about the theory of consciousness built into the computers, yes or no. So when we talk about the consciousness, that means we are moving towards the strong AI, and strong AI and weak AI we have seen in the previous lectures, that weak AI is something which is crafted for a particular task and is good at doing that only, while strong AI is having capabilities close to a human being. So when we say consciousness, that is also a property, or that is also a characteristic of being human. So this Chinese room argument, when it talks about consciousness and talks about whether this consciousness or any conscious feelings can be possessed by a computer or a machine, yes or no. So that means we are actually going towards strong AI. So this argument challenges strong AI, arguing that computers only manipulate some symbols which are in the form of syntax, as you are aware, without understanding the semantics. So without understanding the meaning, they are just good at, or the machines are good at manipulating symbols. This makes the human-like intelligence impossible through any kind of programming alone. So the argument is that strong AI cannot be we can say implemented or cannot be possessed by the machines. So what was the experiment actually? The experiment says there are actually three stages. So one is input, another one is the process, and third one is the output, which is the normal IPO cycle. So the thought experiment says that imagine a person who speaks only English and seated in a room filled with the Chinese characters and obviously a rule book, and that rule book is in English, and that rule book contains all the rules of manipulating those characters. So now input is given in the form of, let us say, a speaker of Chinese passes some characters through a slot, and the English speaker who is sitting inside the that room uses the rule book to select or manipulate the characters and sends them out, and the people outside receive the appropriate responses, making it seems like that the person in the room understands Chinese, but actually the person inside the room does not understand Chinese. He or she only understands English, but he is having a rule book which is sufficient enough to manipulate the Chinese characters which are given as the input by the Chinese speaker. So the conclusion here says the person inside, if produces correct responses without understanding any of the Chinese semantics, just as a computer simulates intelligent behavior without even understanding what it is doing. So that was actually the what we can say arguments. The arguments establishes that the person inside the room is going to give you correct responses, and the best part is, or the part which is to be highlighted here, or the fact which is to be highlighted here, is that the person inside the room does not understand Chinese, but yes, he knows how to manipulate those characters with the help of the characters and the rule book by which the characters are supposed to be manipulated. So just as the any computer, any machine depicts, any machine exhibits intelligent behavior, it seriously does not mean that that it or the computer or the machine understands what it is doing. Now, the core arguments and implications of this Chinese room argument lies in the theory of syntax versus semantics. So, the philosopher who proposed this argues that the computer program are purely syntactical, which are rule for symbol manipulation or rule for or we can say grammatical rules, while the human thought is completely semantic. So, human are good at the interpretation of semantics, while your computers can be good at symbol manipulation, can be good at syntactical part, but not at the semantic part, because they do not have any conscious consciousness, or they do not possess any conscious. This argument, this Chinese room argument, in one way refutes the concept of a strong AI. So, a strong AI exhibits a properly programmed a properly programmed computer has a mind, while the Chinese room arguments on the contrary argues that it is false, because the simulation of understanding is actually not the understanding. So, the man inside the room is behaving like a machine that actually it is not understanding, but it is kind of gives you the idea or gives you the notion of understanding, or we can say it simulates the understanding, but it actually does not understand. Moving forward, we have a functionalism challenge in this Chinese room argument, that says the argument states or the argument stands against functionalism, which claims that if a machine functions as if it has a mind, it does. So, this kind of argument is actually refuted, or we can say challenged by this Chinese room argument. This Chinese room argument always remains a central argument in the philosophy of AI, and the bottom line here is that this Chinese room argument highlights the distinction between the computation and the consciousness. It says that the computation is definitely with the machine, or the machine possesses computation, but as far as consciousness is concerned, a machine does not possess any kind of consciousness. So, this was Chinese room argument, which which is something which is very bottom line when we talk about the arguments or the famous arguments in the philosophy of AI. Moving further with general topics in AI, we have one very challenging, very burning field, which is related to ethics in AI, or ethics of AI, or ethics while during the usage of AI, and so on and so forth. So, here we are going to term it as AI ethics and responsible uses. So, let us see what we need to what we need to know in AI ethics and responsible use. So, when I say AI ethics, it is actually a multidisciplinary field which focuses on ensuring artificial intelligence systems are developed and used responsibly. So, it is not only the development of AI, it is also the usage of AI. Both the development and the usage should be responsible, should be fair, and also they should be safe. Now, when we say responsible usage or AI ethics, there are some underlying principles which are included in this AI ethics thing. So, this is about minimizing the bias, ensuring the transparency, protecting the privacy of the user, maintaining accountability, someone has to take the responsibility or something like that, and prioritizing the well-being of a human. So, all those key principles are surrounded, the AI ethics field is actually surrounded by all those key principles, which includes minimization of bias, then ensuring accountability, protection of privacy, ensuring transparency, and prioritizing a human well-being. Now, it is essential for mitigating risks like discrimination and ensuring AI benefits society. So, when we say it is essential for mitigating risk like discrimination, so the first thing which comes up in our mind, do AI actually discriminate, or can AI be biased? So, yes, we can say AI can be biased, and this is one of the core ethical issues and challenges which is being faced by the AI developers. So AI is actually trained on some data, and then there are models or there are algorithms for training that particular system, we can say. So AI, when it is trained on historical data, can perpetuate or amplify the discrimination regarding any kind of race, or it could be a gender or socio-economic status. And there are examples, I am going to quote definitely some of them, in which the AI systems have learned some bias from their inherent data, not explicitly, in the sense nobody taught them or nobody trained them for that particular bias situation, but yes, somehow based on that particular data, AI model was trained to exhibit, or AI model was trained to show that particular bias. This goes to the extent of job displacement, which says the automation of the task possesses risk to labor markets and requires ethical management. This is something which is kind of a very burning issue nowadays. So everyone is talking about, is AI going to replace this particular kind of job role, or AI is going to replace freshers, or AI is going to replace mid management in software industry or any other industry for that matter, even in automation industry. So the automation of task is happening on a rapid pace, and this possesses risk to labor markets and requires some kind of an ethical management. This also is actually a core issue or a core challenge when we study the ethical side of artificial intelligence. Then there comes another challenge or another issue which is about autonomous decision making. So determining when to exercise the control onto the AI and maintaining the human oversight is actually a critical challenge, because everything you cannot leave in hands of any machine or any artificial agent. So at some point of time, at kind of some thing, there has to be an kind of oversight, a human oversight, which is definitely required, but at what point of time and when and for how long it is required, that is an issue, that is a challenge. Apart from that, you must have heard that all these AI systems, agents, large language models, like for let us say for example, you have ChatGPT, you have Gemini, they have significant environmental footprint, and each and every query which is being given to these machines or these models is going to heat up the machines for during the computation, that some amount of water, or let us say X liter of water is required. Now wherever these data centers are being kind of, we can say, established, those are actually resource poor countries generally. So this is a general concept, that these data centers are being built into a resource poor country, and in those resource poor country, so water is actually an important resource, and you are kind of using the water as a coolant for your for the data center, which is handling so many thousands or such a huge load of queries. So definitely environmental footprint of training or using even these AI models is very significant. So yes, all these challenges which are related to the fields of AI ethics are significant, and we as AI users need to keep all these in mind, that bias should not be amplified. Job displacement, definitely we need to tackle it. Then somewhere a human oversight is required in order to control, in order to make the decisions. And then there is definitely a significant environmental impact, which no one should kind of neglect. Moving on to AI ethics, we have 5 core pillars of AI ethics. So one is transparency, another one is fairness, then next is accountability, privacy and safety. So safety here includes robustness or reliability, we can say. Fairness is actually being impartial. Now when we say we provide a foundational framework for developing and deploying AI systems that are ethical, or maybe that are fair, that those systems are trustworthy and safe for the society. All these pillars are need to be ensured, all these qualities are need to be ensured, and we also need to see that AI algorithms should be understandable, should be unbiased, accountable enough, secure and respectful of the user data. Now let us see these core pillars one by one, which we need to ensure. So the first one is transparency. So transparency comes with the two terms which we have already covered. They were about the explainability and interpretability. So AI systems should be designed such that the stakeholders should understand how the algorithm is working and how that algorithm is reaching onto a particular decision on which it is reaching, or how one is how and another one is definitely why. So both explainability and interpretability are need to be ensured, and that is what through this we need we as AI users or we as AI developers need to maintain the transparency. Then we say the next pillar is fairness, which is being impartial. So AI must treat any group or any individual in an equal manner. It should prevent the bias and discrimination in order to ensure equitable outcomes. So that is another pillar of your AI ethics. Then comes the accountability. Now this is something which we need to understand. So when we say who is going to be responsible for this, who is going to be the fall guy for this, or who is going to be accountable for this particular action. So clear responsibilities must be established for the outcomes which are produced by AI. So AI being a system, whether it is a hardware system or software system, let us not get into this. So AI being a system cannot hold the responsibility. So we as human beings need to take the responsibility, or we as human beings need to fix the responsibility. So clear responsibilities must be established for outcomes which are produced by the AI, because we cannot say okay, so AI has done this, so AI is responsible for this. No, we need to identify that who is accountable for the actions and the impact both. Moving further, another pillar, the fourth pillar is privacy and data protection. So when we talk about privacy and data protection, AI systems must protect sensitive personal data and follow ethical data acquisition and usage guideline. Although for this ethical data acquisition daily, or very kind of frequently, we can say the laws are being built on, and there are kind of rules and regulations which are given by the various governments of various countries. But even as AI developers, we need to ensure that the sensitive personal data should be protected if it is being collected, and the collection manner or the acquisition and the usage should follow the guidelines of the government or law enforcement agencies. Moving on to the next pillar, which is safety. So safety, when we say, it is all about being robust, it is all about possessing reliability. So AI systems must be secure against the threats like ransomware. They perform consistently under different conditions and be thoroughly validated. So kind of we can say building an AI system which is safe is also kind of very important. So the system should be secure against the threats, perform consistently under different conditions and be thoroughly validated. So these were 5 pillars of AI ethics, and it is not like that these are the kind of in a watertight compartment. In some of the different materials you can have some different pillars, or maybe one or two in addition to all these basics. So the list is definitely not exclusive, but yes, this is the kind of we can say prominent list. So we looked into AI ethics. So what are AI ethics, and then that responsible usage of AI, what is required. So safety, privacy, accountability, fairness and transparency are definitely the things which are required or which are expected of an ethical AI system. Moving forward, let's move on to AI bias. So, when we say AI bias or algorithmic bias, it occurs when an AI system produces some skewed, some kind of unfair or discriminatory results, which often perpetuate human biases due to flawed training data or due to faulty or flawed algorithm design. So, AI being a system is taking some input and some algorithms are being worked upon. So, either it is going to be a kind of a training, or either it is going to be a data bias, or it is going to be a flawed algorithm design which is going to generate the results in a biased manner. Now, what kind of biases I am talking about? So, when we say these could be kind of a gender bias, or maybe an AI system because of virtue of some particular data is biased towards a particular gender, male or female, whatever. Then there are some kind of racial discriminations which are again observed by some AI systems, and these racial discriminations occur when the systems privilege one group over the others, and this definitely going to kind of reduce the accuracy and cause the harmful social impact. So, when we say are there what all are the types of AI bias, so we will look into kind of some 5 types of AI biases. So, one is the data bias. What kind of data, which data I am talking about? So, I am here particularly talking about the training data. So, the data does not accurately reflect the real world population or contains historical prejudices that comes with the kind of training data bias. Then there is selection or sampling bias. It occurs when the training data is not representative of the real world population. So, for example, facial recognition trained most only on a particular, let us say, light skinned individuals or the dark skinned individuals. So, that is kind of an sampling bias or the selection bias we can say. Then measurement bias. So, the data collection differs systematically from the true variables of interest. So, that kind of you can say introduces the measurement bias into the system. Then there is algorithmic bias or design bias. So, algorithms weigh factors in ways that optimize for discriminatory outcomes. So, for example, there are some features which are always being given kind of higher weightages, and those higher weightages are going to reflect in an in the output definitely. So, algorithm should weigh factors in order to optimize for the outcomes. It should not have a discriminatory outcome because of the weighing factors of the algorithm. Then the 5th type could be stereotyping or a generative bias, in which AI particularly, here I am talking about generative models, can create the contents that reinforces harmful stereotypes. So, for example, associating roles with specific genders. So, if there is kind of a manager role, or if it is kind of an supervisor role, it is always given to a a specific gender, maybe male or female. So, these are generative biases. So, here we have bias, your data could be biased, it could be a selection or a sampling bias, it could be a bias with with reference to measurement, it could be an algorithmic bias, or it is a generative bias. Now, what causes AI system to be biased? So, as we have seen data issues. So, data could be incomplete, data is skewed, or data is not representative of the whole population. Then there are historical prejudices where AI learns from the historical data and thus replicates the past discrimination. So, there was a data in which in the past some discrimination was done on the basis of gender, and that data is being used as a training data. So, AI learns from the historical data, and definitely it is going to replicate that past discrimination again. Again, human oversight, if we say, so it is the lack of diverse perspectives during AI development and evaluation. Now, when we look into kind of these AI biases, what all kind of consequences can be faced in a real world. So, in a real world, your automated tools may favor maybe a male applicant or a female candidate based on the historical data. This is a classic example of AI bias, that in which one of the famous companies, the data which was given for kind of the training, the data which was given for training the AI model was having male applicants, and this is what is being learnt by the model. And then whenever there is kind of gender is equals to female, the AI systems started rejecting those applications, or kind of something of that sort. So, hiring in which the automated tools are going to select the CVs for hiring the people, they may favor male applicants over a female candidates, and you can find these biases, details of these biases on the internet. Then healthcare. Now, this is something which is very sensitive. AI might misdiagnose or offer unequal treatment to minorities due to skewed or non-representative data. Then for example, another idea could be finance. So, let us say algorithms is going to deny loans to a specific group based on the biased credit scoring. So, this much is the credit, then your kind of loan application is rejected. But why that particular loan application has been rejected despite of having a good credit, or even if the credit is bad, is that the only reason? So, finance also need to be in kind of in possession of some ethical AI systems or non-biased AI systems, we can say. Then we have law enforcement, which is very important. Facial recognition systems often display higher error rates for people with darker skin tones, and here the law enforcement could be kind of challenging. So, in this lecture what we have looked into, we have looked the AI ethics, and we understood the pillars of AI ethics. Then we started with AI biases, and then the types of biases and the causes of that biases. Mitigation strategies of those AI bias is definitely which is to be covered in the next lecture, and some other general concepts of artificial intelligence. I will see you in the next one. Till then, take care. Goodbye.